guys, welcome to Behind Her Lens. Today I am in front of the lens. I decided to do a video where I appreciate all my favorite South African movies. So in this video I'm going to be listing my top 10 favorite South African movies. But before we get into the video, please like, comment and subscribe. First up on the list is a film called Utelo Burning. This movie is actually set in the apartheid era, but it's not a typical apartheid movie. It's a film about these three boys who are really passionate about surfing, and they basically they have like a swimming pool in their community pool where they learn to swim, and their aspiration is to become professional surfers. And they have a love for the beach and the ocean.
Yalibona ulwandle mfethu abo mangigibela igagasi laphayana bangathi nje wonke amasimba semhlabeni ayahlehla ngiba nenkululeko.
It's definitely worth a watch. It's a good one. I think the acting was great, the casting was great, and in terms of just how they use that political landscape.
Okunjalo ke nakuthi hlala lapho.
Never was amazing, guys. It never was amazing. And I feel like Never was one of those films to come out of like a long period of time in South Africa where we didn't have films that were really like pushing the boundaries. It never came out and everybody had something to say about it, right? And I really, really, really love the film. First of all, technically, it's really well written, it's well directed, it's extremely well casted, and the cinematography and the score is out of this world. Ineba is a film about, I feel like everybody knows Ineba, but for those of you who don't know Ineba, it's a film about so it's set against the political landscape of, not the political landscape, but the backdrop of initiation, male Xhosa initiation. And it's about this young man who works in the city, who goes annually every year back home to train the boys into initiation. And while he's there at the initiation school, he has like a secret relationship with one of the caretakers. And basically the film is like disrupted by like the entrance of a queer black man that comes into this space and discovers a secret relationship. And it's really well done. I know a lot of people complain about the political, not the political, but like the cultural backdrop of the film. So a lot of Xhosa people felt like they were misrepresented in the film. I'm not Xhosa, but I personally don't think that they were making a commentary on Xhosa culture, but they were just using that particular space to speak about this story, this love story. Ineba is about, so Ineba means the wound, and it's about this wound in masculinity, that all these wounds that exist within masculinity that are never spoken about and are like in these very secret, undisclosed spaces. And I think the choice of the initiation was quite a brave one, but also one that really worked in terms of like where the narrative was going, right? Because if we're speaking about wounds that are deep and hidden, where else to go and uncover them than the mountain? Next up on the list is 5 Fingers for Mercedes. Yo! Hi guys. I jealous down. In fact, this list is over. Let's go home. Fairyland. That was such a well done film, guys. Yo! And for me personally, like, guys, I don't like westerns. You know, I don't like westerns for the genre, right? I don't like the genre at all. But they were able to work against this genre, work with the genre to produce such an amazing film. And 5 Fingers is definitely worth a watch. Put your money on it. It was such a great film. And I mean, I've heard like a few people have some issues about like how South Africa, how problematic it is for South African filmmakers to make westerns. But I feel like I thought of it more as like a fictional universe in which all of these things are happening. The film, first of all, the cinematography was out of this world. I don't know how many times I've said out of this world in this video. Like out of this world, out of this world. How many times have I said that? But the cinematography was completely amazing. Like I feel like there are a lot of films that are emerging right now that are giving me so much hope in terms of where this industry can go. It is growing, and this movie is jealous down. Hey, you are jealous. If you don't like this movie, you are jealous. You are so jealous. Yo, that was just an amazing film. Next up on the list was Hard to Get. Hard to Get. Hard to Get. Guys, let's talk about Utishiwe Zikubu. My word, what a queen. What a black queen. Hard to Get was amazing. I watched it with Karabo over the holidays in December. Show your face, baby girl. Show your face, man.
What's good?
What's good? What's good, son? Hard to Get, guys. That was also a great film. I feel like I've said all the films on this list were great, and maybe you're gonna think I'm lying. But yo, Bafetu, Hard to Get, like honestly, after I watched that film, I was like, this is why I'm in this industry. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm placed here right now, okay? Everything just made sense. And it was also around the time where I was feeling like, oh my God, I'm not growing in terms of being a filmmaker. And I watched this film and I was like, gotta keep going, girl. Gotta keep going. Tina Sobabili was a film about this young boy who lives with his sister. They live in like a shack, and he's like the older brother, and he's involved in crime to get some money so that he can make means for his sister and just for himself so that they can survive. So the two of them, in the beginning, you think that they're orphans, they don't have parents, but their mother actually left them, or they ran away from their mom because she was in an abusive relationship with a man who was not their father. And when the mother finally gets enough courage to leave this abusive relationship and go back to her kids, her son, her daughter is out on a date with this abusive man who's also obviously is a rapist. He's toxic masculinity, and on the date he tries to rape her, and the brother comes to the rescue and saves her from that predicament, and the brother and the dad get into a fight. The younger sister, trying to save her brother, ends up shooting her own brother. Yeah. And like the guy gets away with it. It's extremely sad. Tina Sobabili is a very, very sad movie. One thing that I really liked about it was the musical score and the cinematography. The cinematography was done by Umteo the Guru on the gram. He's a really great cinematographer, young black man who is really great at what he does. And the musical score is really nice because there's this recurring like music that they have constantly in the music in the film that kind of signals an emotional state in the characters, and I really like how they play around with that. Next on the list is a classic. It's old, guys. So basically I have a sad story. I did not watch It's Otsi when it came out, around the time when it came out. I was young, guys, and I think I saw like 5 minutes of a scene from Utsotsi, and Utsotsi. From Tsotsi, I saw like 5 minutes of it, but I was very young. I didn't even understand what was happening. And like now, when I'm older, everyone's always like, yeah. Instead of actually telling me what it's about, and then I'm like, how was it? What it's about? For like 10 minutes. I really hate it when I don't know things, and instead of people actually telling me things, they emphasize the fact that I don't know things. I watched Tsotsi recently, and it was great. I heard actually that the film was so the book version of the film is actually being taught in high schools. So it's a set work. I think it's grade 11, and when I heard that, I knew that okay, this is obviously a film that I need to see because it has become part of the curriculum. And I just love how they were able to play around with all these metaphorical things. So in terms of like Tsotsi being the baby, you know, when he gets the baby, he is the baby, and his relationship with the female character. I think it's a nice way of thinking about, of representing masculinity, as opposed to maybe if he ended up having a relationship with the woman. I think it was nice for them to explore it through more so son and mother kind of thing. And I think it was really, really well done. And also remember, Tsotsi came out a long time ago, you know, but even till this day, 2019, Tsotsi is still one of the best films to be produced out of this country, undoubtedly. Chili Bites, anyone who knows Izululami knows that line. That is the line for Izululami, and that was an amazing film, guys, undoubtedly, right? And it's also a really sad film, speaking around speaking around issues around health, HIV and AIDS, and kind of like it's a really sad reality, the South African landscape, in terms of just how many people are actually orphans in this country. And I think Izululami is a fuse of a lot of issues within the South African society that is explored through these children. So it really plays against interesting power dynamics around just child versus world, and innocence versus corruption, innocence versus evil, and so forth. A movie by one of my favorite South African actresses, Ulele Dikumane. She plays the lead role in Yesterday. Yesterday is really sad. It is a film about sort of the rural life and HIV and AIDS and how it was perceived in the early 2000s, and it's about the single mother who is looking after her kid who gets infected by a man who works in the mines, and he actually dies, and she becomes infected, but she doesn't die. And so I really think it was an important film, particularly for the time, to kind of speak to the health situation that was, or the health landscape that was happening in South Africa at the time, but also to kind of like undo misconceptions around HIV and AIDS. And it was also really well shot, was very well written, very well directed, and just, I really love that film. It is honestly a classic, and it is one of my favorite movies. It is one of the movies that kind of made me pursue this career. And yeah, that's Yesterday. Listen to me. Go see Vaya right now.
Lezi sivaleleke esihogweni azinanyoko azinawo amadlala. Mengithanda nje ngenza sure ukuthi ugcina ufana nabo.
Vaya is, I know I already said that in relation to a film. Vaya is a film about homeless people. It's about basically how you become homeless in the city, how people become homeless in the city of Johannesburg. And what I like about it is that they really humanized the homeless person's experience, the average homeless person's experience within South Africa. So you don't see them covered in dirt on the streets begging, but you actually get to see how they become in that situation. So it's kind of revolving around 3 or 4 stories that are interlinked. So it begins with a train ride to the city, and everyone who's in the train, their lives become interconnected in the end or in the climatic moment, and all of them, these characters, end up homeless for different reasons. And I also, so I watched Vaya at school. I watched it at Wits at the Apollonia Theatre. That was last year. And the directors of Vaya were there, the writers as well. And we were really able to have a nice discussion around the film and what we had just watched, because I really think, first of all, it is incredibly well written, incredibly well directed, and they took a lot of time to work to create this film, and it ended up being mind-blowing, guys. I'm actually lost for words. Like, Vaya is that film. Vaya is the film, and I can't wait until it's out at the cinemas and out for public consumption, because I really don't know where it is, but I know it is circulating within the university space and through like different curriculums within and different courses.
Freedom is coming tomorrow. Get ready, mama, prepare for your freedom. Freedom is coming tomorrow. Get ready.
Really great. Sarafina is a classic, guys. You cannot hate on Sarafina. You just can't, right? It's a classic for political reasons. It's a classic for, I guess, cinematic reasons as well, but also in terms of playing around the idea of the South African musical. And I really love Sarafina. Obviously, Lelete Khumalo has made it twice on this list, so you know who she is. Sarafina is a classic. It is really, I can still watch it now and feel similar emotions to what I felt when I watched it the first time. So yes, guys, that wraps up my list. These are my favorite South African movies, guys. This is my top 10 list. Obviously, there are other films that are also nice, South African films. A lot of them are in circulation right now. Let me plug you onto something real quick. If you want to see a South African film, chances are you're going to get it at a South African film festival. So I encourage more and more people to go to film festivals more so that they can catch these films and watch them there. And also, when the films do come out, let's go give them a try, guys. Not only because of an obligation that we should feel towards watching South African films, but because we actually do produce great South African movies, right? And our industry is really growing, and it's nice for us to all be a part of it. So please like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Click the notification bell for more videos around film-related content, film and television-related content. Yeah.